Greetings, live from Agile Learning Labs World Headquarters in beautiful San Mateo, California. And I am here with Betty Gonzalez, VP of Operations here at Agile Learning Labs. And somewhere around is Max the dog, but he's taking his union nap right now. So he may make an appearance in a little bit. Today's topic is business value estimation. And we want to demo a particular technique that we've been using and teaching for quite a while. That's called the business value estimation game. So basically the way this works is you gather together a group of representative stakeholders, right? Because business value is in the eyes of stakeholders. So we have to have the stakeholders do the value estimation. And then we take our story cards, start out with them in a stack, and then each stakeholder gets to take a turn. Now, the scenario that we're playing out is that we're going to be developing some software that is going to help kids create like artistic pictures based on geometry. So they'll be using geometry to make their pictures. And so each story is a different shape that our software might support. So I'm going to start. I look at the top card. It's triangle. And I'm just going to put it in the middle of our playing surface. That gets us started. So now Betty, oh, there's Max. Betty gets to look at the next card and decide if she thinks it's more valuable than supporting triangle or less valuable than implementing triangle. If it's less, she puts it to the left. If it's more, she puts it to the right.
I got circle, and I think circle is more valuable, so I'm going to put it to the right.
Okay, and now going forward, when it's someone's turn, we have a choice. We can either insert the top shape where we think it goes. We're building a strict ordering, but we could insert this next shape anywhere we want it to go. Least valuable of all, insert it in the middle, or put it all the way at the high end. Or if we disagree, then we could move one existing shape to a different location. So I'm pretty happy with that order. We've got this shape next. Really fancy, you know, the designers are real excited about it. I don't think it's as important as circle though. Maybe more important than triangle, so I'm going to put it right there. So now it's Betty's turn, and she gets to either insert the top shape, you know, which represents a story, or move one existing one.
Okay. So double triangle, I think not as important. Maybe fun, but not as important. I'm going to put it to the left of triangle.
Okay. And, you know, the more I've been thinking about this, Betty, you know, as exciting as the curved shapes are, you know, if we have like basic like triangle, there's a lot kids can do with triangles, right? You can build a lot of shapes out of triangles. So maybe actually this is the most valuable of all. So I'm going to move it over here. Like if we had triangle, then kids could like do a lot with triangle. So, and now back to Betty.
Square. I think that square is probably not as important as triangle.
Okay.
So I'm going to actually
slide those down. Okay.
I like this shape. This.
All right. Good. So now it's back to me. All of our user stories have now been laid out on our playing surface. So now when it's my turn, I could move something if I wanted. In this case, I'm actually really happy with this order from least valuable to most valuable. So I'll pass back to Betty. She could change something if she wants, or she could pass.
Yeah, I could look at this.
All right. So now that we've got an order that we're happy about from least value to most value, now we bring out the number cards. And when we're estimating business value, it is possible that the gathered group of stakeholders might find some of these stories not valuable at all, like zero value, maybe even negative value. So we start out with this symbol, and we put it above and to the right. And basically this is saying, starting here and going this way forever, all the stories are marked as having zero or negative business value. Now, hopefully that's not true. So now Betty gets to place the 1 above the story that she thinks is least valuable of all, but it does have some value. It could be the first story, but it doesn't have to be. But if she thinks double triangle does have some value, then she might put the 1 above that.
I do think it has some value. I think it's fun.
Okay. Great, and so now I'll place the 2 above a story that I think is about twice as valuable as double triangle. And I think that square is about twice as valuable as double triangle. And now when it's Betty's turn, she can either place this top number or she could move one of the existing numbers. They have to stay in order, of course, but she could move one, slide it to the left or right.
Well, I'm going to add 3 to above triangle because I do think triangle is 3 times as valuable as double triangle.
Now this is super exciting because this marks a transition. We now have business value numbers above all our stories. Now we may not agree that they're exactly right and that we all are in total agreement with them, but because we have this structure, we can now exit the bootstrapping part of this exercise. Everything we've demonstrated so far, you only have to do once with any group of stakeholders to get them up and running with a value scale. And then going forward in the future with those stakeholders, then you'll get to use the fast version of this game. Here's how we convert the game board into the fast version of the game. If I look at this, we don't have any stories that are 0 or negative value, but we have 2 stories whose value is 1, right? Each of these is a 1. So I'm going to collect these underneath the 1, and we now have a column of all the stories whose business value estimate is 1. We have 2 stories whose business value estimate is 2 value points. So we're going to collect those into a column of all the 2 value point stories. And then finally, a column with all the 3s. And now I'm going to ask Betty to place the rest of the Fibonacci numbers up on the wall so that we have additional columns that are available to us if we need them in the future. Now, next time we get this group of stakeholders together, we get to start here. We take the stories that we've already given value estimates to, line them up in columns below the Fibonacci numbers, and then we bring in any new stories that don't have value estimates. And then when it's a person's turn, they could either place a story into a column, thus giving a value estimate to a story, or they could move an existing story to a different column because maybe some new information's come to light and our opinion about the value of stories has changed. So I'll invite Betty to either place the top story, which is parallelogram, into a column, or move an existing one.
Okay, very similar to square, so I'm going to call it 2.
Okay, very good. You know, our marketing department has done some focus groups, and everybody just goes nuts about this spiral. Like the kids just think this is the bee's knees. And so it turns out, I think that this is actually way more valuable than we thought. I think it might even be an 8.
Wow.
Super, yeah, I think this is super awesome. So I used my turn to move a card, so back to Betty.
This happens to be the kid's favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this actually, I even think it's way higher than this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm willing to actually even say that they love it that much.
Wow, okay, back to me. I could move a story if I wanted to, but actually I'm pretty happy with these. So now back to Betty.
Yeah, I could live with that.
All right, and so now we've not only created a set of business value estimates, but now we've come back and, you know, maybe in a future meeting with the stakeholders and updated them and created some value estimates on new stories. I recommend doing this business value estimation activity during sprint review, right? Sprint review is where you've gathered the stakeholders together and we're talking about the future of the product. And one of the things we want from the stakeholders is estimates on their business value. And so as well, before we sign off, I will of course mention that if you're looking to get certified Scrum Master product owner training, Agile Learning Labs is here for you. Check out our website. And in May, we are once again offering our advanced certified Scrum product owner workshop. We're one of only a few outfits in the whole world that are offering that one. So if you already have your CSPO, this is your opportunity to take it to the next level, get your advanced CSPO. And one last thing, I'm going to go try to adjust the camera so you can see our off-camera assistant who's working really hard to make this video fantastic. Yes, that is in fact Max the dog, working hard. Yay, thank you for your help, Max.